What's up, everybody? Welcome to Production Cup at, we're gonna start already. At Phoenix. Not many cars in this race, only 3 in my class. So we're guaranteed top 3 no matter what.
20 more laps.
Let's see how it goes. Wow, almost came in the back end already. Starting.
I chose the wrong time to jump out and check something, didn't I?
Sorry, didn't qualify, but neither did anyone else, so it actually started me 3rd, so, which is fine, I'll take it. Oh shoot, I forgot to set my dang setup back to where I wanted it to be. Dang it. Oh well. Setup's gonna be pretty loose, probably.
Got one on your right. All clear, all clear.
And we're in the lead, but for how long? Really loose through here, I can already tell it's gonna be loose. Maybe we'll pull out a win though, who knows?
You're in first.
The setup I was using was just the base setup, and it was a lot tighter than this. This setup's pretty dang loose, so I gotta be careful about how fast I take some of these turns, and where I'm braking at, how hard I'm braking mainly. So far, it seems to be doing pretty good though. These guys in these Mazdas, if they, well, they're actually way back behind me somehow. Did they even start the race? I say these guys in these Mazdas were faster than me in practice, but they didn't start, so. Yeah, that lap that I just ran there was 2 seconds slower than what I ran in practice, so this setup definitely isn't the right one, but I'll just take it easy. Take it easy and run these 20 laps, and it's not going to be the most exciting race, but all goes well, I'll win it. So, by chance, if you didn't watch the last race that I put up, then you'll know, well, I was mentioning in the last race that I didn't run last week at all, or didn't record at all. I actually did run the production car race and the Mazda race multiple times, but I had an issue with my PSU, and it was screaming, like literally whining, whistling, because it was about to go out, and had to buy a new one. And I tried recording the races that I ran last week, but it was so loud that the microphone was picking it up, and that's pretty much all you could hear. So I had to wait for my new one to come in and go ahead and get that installed, and you know, I didn't want that mess to be in you guys' ears the whole time I'm racing. So I didn't get any Legends races in last week, unfortunately. So I did miss that, but it's gonna drop 3 weeks anyways, my 3 worst weeks, so I'm not too worried about it. And I had a pretty solid place in the top 10, I think, in my division whenever before last week, so it will drop down for a little bit, but it'll be back up there hopefully. providing I get a good finish this week and next week. I'm just taking it so easy right now. I know this is probably the most boring race you have ever seen on YouTube. I guarantee it. It's about 12:30 at night here in the States. And most of the guys that race the road course races I've noticed are from most of them from Spain and the UK and around that area in Europe. And about midday here, the servers are pretty populated. But at night, you don't see a whole lot of people on. I guess because it's midday there and everybody's probably working or they're doing whatever they do. Just like when you're racing the oval races, most of those are American drivers, and you get some South American drivers and some Europeans, but for the majority the American drivers race the oval tracks. And they're populated, you know, pretty much around 7 to 8 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 7 to about 11 o'clock American time, you know, whether it be Eastern, you know, all the way to Pacific or whatever, in that time range. So you don't see full fields as much during the day. But I'm actually surprised there's not more people on this one, honestly. That's okay, I'll take a win any way I can get it. Hopefully it'll be a decent points day as well, if I can win. There's always the chance that something will happen and I won't. Like downshifting too fast and blowing my motor. So while I got some time to talk about this, I guess we can go ahead and talk about next season. We have, this is week 8, I think. Maybe week 9, I'll have to check and see, but we've only got a few more weeks left in this season. And next season will start after week 13. And I know that my work is going to be picking up a lot, so I don't think I'll be racing as much during the Christmas holidays. So probably what I'm planning on doing is, I'm hoping I'll get to a C-Class street stock, and that's all I'm gonna run. I may run some road races, but I probably won't put those on YouTube. I don't think. I might put a couple of them on there. I don't know. If I win some, maybe I'll put some on there, but I just won't have time. I'll be working probably 12-hour shifts at work for the majority of October, November, and December. And when I'm working that much, I just don't have time to do the whole YouTube thing. So, and it gives me a much needed break from working on it so much during the other part of the year. But you never know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can get more than that up. I'd like to keep with 3 races a week, but it's just hard to do that. I'm on vacation this week, otherwise it'd be hard to get this one up, honestly, because I worked right at 57, 60 hours last week, so almost 60. Like right at 58, I think it was. And you know, that may not seem like a lot, but then when I'm getting home at 7 o'clock at night, and both my kids are here, and gotta go to bed around 11 to get back up and go to work the next morning, I just don't have time to sit down and race much, and definitely don't have time to do any commentary. And then the editing takes a while, so it's hard to find time. Plus, I'm working on Saturdays as well, so I'm working 6 days a week. So you can see why it's hard to find time to do the whole YouTube thing whenever I'm driving at work. And basically, if you don't know what I do for a living, I work for UPS, so for 6 months out of the year or so, I drive a package car and deliver packages. So it's a 10 to 12 hour a day gig. But it pays well, so that's why I do it. Don't really enjoy it that much, but it is what it is. It's a job. Wow, these guys are just quitting. Do we even have any more Mazda guys in this race? Straight away, I'll have to scroll down and check real quick. Figured we'd be catching some of these. No, that's pretty much all of them. Figured we'd be catching some of these solstices by now, but it doesn't look like it. We should be catching Stefan. He's right at 30 seconds behind me. Well, no, actually, it'll be a while. We're running a minute 11-second lap, so we may not catch him at all, actually. Either way, this will be good for my I rating and safety rating. So my little girl just turned 6 years old today. We had her birthday party yesterday. The girl's spoiled rotten, I swear. I bet she probably got $1,000 worth of presents from people. It was ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, kids, you hear your parents talk about how fast, you grew up, or maybe your siblings, if you have any, grew up. And you never really realize it until you have your own. And it seems like just yesterday, when I remember she was born, I was holding her and, watching her grow up through the years, teaching her, different things. And for the majority of her life, I have worked basically just part-time at night and stayed at home during the day and watch the kids to keep from having to get a babysitter and paying that extra money. And oh shoot, wow, that was weird. Anyway, paying that extra money, and forgot what I was talking about. Right. You know, so I was with her, I've been with her all day, every day, her whole life, pretty much. Until the past couple of years when I had the opportunity to actually, you know, drive at work some. And even that's only like a, you know, 3 to 6 month out of the year deal, really, whenever the peak volume comes around Christmas. And I cover some vacation routes occasionally, but it's weird. You know, I look back on it and I feel like that I've missed out on so much, even though I really haven't. Looking back at pictures and stuff, that I get pretty emotional over it. You know, I play a lot of video games, and I remember days where she would want to play, and I'd play with her. I mean, I don't want to sound like a, you know, I wasn't a jerk to her or anything. I'd play with her for a couple hours or something, then I'd sit down and play a video game for an hour or two, and she'd play. And now I almost feel bad because I feel like I might have missed something in that hour and a half. And I'll tell you something, don't ever neglect your kids, even the slightest little bit, because you will regret it later on in life. You don't, at the time it don't seem like you're always thinking, well, you know, I've got plenty of time. You know, and like I said, it's not like I didn't never play with her. That's not it at all. I played with her a lot. I just split my time up, you know. But when you get older, you'll feel like that you've missed out on a ton of stuff, even though you really don't miss out on anything. I mean, I was there for her first words when she started walking, everything. I've been there for everything. You know, I was the first one to see pretty much everything, all that. But yet, I still feel like I've missed out on a lot because I feel like she's grown up so fast. And she's just ready to grow up even faster. You know, she's ready to be an adult and go to college and all that stuff already. And she's only 6 years old. She's already talking about that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what in the world? Are you crazy? I wish that I was 6 or 7 years old again. That would be awesome. I can remember when I was, well, I can't remember when I was 6. I think I can remember probably the earliest I can remember real well. Probably around, let's see, I was born in '84, and I can remember watching MTV on New Year's night in 1998. Was probably really my first good memory. I was watching the New Year's Eve thing or whatever. How old was I there? Probably 13 or 14 years old. I can remember stuff before then, obviously, but that's like the clearest memory, I guess I would say I have. And to be that young again would just be awesome. Like, I've got a pretty good life now.
5 laps to go.
Got a great wife, 2 beautiful kids. But I had a lot of fun between 16 and 21 years old. Met a lot of people, hung out with a lot of friends, and you know, you get older, you get married, you have kids and stuff, and most of your friends disappear because you can't go hang out with them no more like you used to. Not because my wife won't let me, just because I'm too busy. And you know, when you have kids, you grow up, you get out of a lot of the stuff you used to do, like going to bars and clubs and stuff like that. That stuff, you know, you gotta grow up and cut that stuff out. But so now, you know, most of my friends are my family, and you know, people that I race with on iRacing and play Call of Duty with and whatnot and stuff like that. Just, you know, friends that I play online with, mainly. Growing up's funny, man. It seems like when you're little that it takes so long to get anywhere. And then when you get older, the older you get, the faster it goes, and the faster it goes, and the faster it goes, because you just get busier and busier the older you are. And I'm hoping that when I retire, that it slows way down again, because I won't be doing that much. Even though I'll have, hopefully, grandkids by then, and I'll still be spending time with my own kids, since I'm not working. hoping that life slows down again. I can kind of enjoy the last little bit of life like I did the first little bit of life, you know what I mean? That's the plan anyway. But it is crazy. I mean, it goes by really, really, really fast. I remember when I first started working at UPS when I was 17 years old, and I thought I'd work here for 3 or 4 years, pay for my college, get me a job in racing, which is what I really wanted to do, and I'd make a career out of that. And I went to school to learn how to build race cars. Built race cars for a little while, worked for a couple race teams, and it never really panned out and went anywhere. I was working for a race team, and I had an opportunity to restore cars, and I thought, that sounds pretty fun. The race team I was working for wasn't doing exactly what I wanted to be doing. I was doing a little bit of everything, but I just didn't really like where I was at. So I got the opportunity to restore cars with this guy, and from the time I started to the time I quit, I hated that job just because the guy I worked for was a jerk, and I was a novice at it, didn't know a lot, and he expected me to come in there and know exactly what to do. He wanted me to come in there and just build a car from the ground up with no experience really in doing a lot of that stuff. I knew how to weld and fabricate, but I wasn't a real good fabricator yet because I hadn't really done it that much. Most of what I had did was set up suspension setups and just once the chassis was done on the race car, I would basically bolt everything together.
Alright, man.
So basically I was just a mechanic at the race team, which is kind of why I wanted out of it, because my thing was I wanted to be able to go to the track and help out on the pit crew and stuff like that. At the time I didn't realize you had to be extremely fit and real fast, and there was so many guys that wanted to do that kind of stuff. I didn't realize all that. I just thought, you get a job, you want to do it, they'll train you, you go out there and do it. And at the time then, it wasn't as bad as it is now. I mean, that's what wins races now. Back then it wasn't quite like that. But so I worked for that guy for a little while, quit there and got a job at a place welding steel beams together for these big buildings like Lowe's Hardware and Walmart and stuff like that. And I loved that job. That was great. That was in 2008, and then the economy crashed, and a company in Australia bought them out and shut them down. So I didn't get to work there very long. So I was out of work for probably about a month, and
One more lap to win.
and a buddy of mine, which we're not really friends anymore, but at the time he was an assistant, or he was a manager or something at like a warehouse that distributed pet supplies to pet stores and stuff, and he got me a job there, just kind of got me my feet back on the ground, and we were there for a little while. Then I decided to go back to UPS, and so I've been there for 15 years at UPS, and it went by so fast, it's crazy. And I can retire in another 25 years from there at 55 years old, so looking forward to that for sure. It'll be a long time, 25 years is a long time, but like I said, it'll go by fast. It don't seem like it'll be that long. Keep working and it'll be here before I know it. Now I look back and my kids will be 30 years old and have kids of their own, and they'll probably be 10 years old themselves, so, well, maybe, newborn to 10 years old, I guess, depending on when they get married and all that. Anyway, I hope my rambling didn't aggravate you too much. I figured since we didn't really have anybody to race, that I would
this
just,
is what happens when you have the best spotter.
yeah, that's what happens when nobody's racing me. Figured I'd ramble on a little bit since we had plenty of time, and I didn't have nobody pressure me at all for the win, so a little bit about my personal life and my thoughts on some things, and I guess we'll see you in the next race whenever we get into the Legends, hopefully. Don't know if there'll be any commentary on that or not. It depends on when I'm able to run it, and if my kids are here. But regardless, hopefully it'll be a good race. I'm not running that until midday tomorrow, so I'm hoping there'll be some guys on there running it with me. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.